A tariff is a tax that a government puts on goods coming in from other countries. The goal is to make imported items more expensive, so people might buy more things made at home. President Trump recently announced a new global tariff, first aiming for 15% but settling for 10% after a court decision. This tariff especially targets goods from China, which fill many shelves in American stores. Tariffs are often used to protect local jobs and industries. By making foreign products costlier, the idea is to give American companies a better chance to compete. But tariffs can also mean higher prices for shoppers, since businesses usually pass on some of the extra costs. That's why changes in tariffs can affect everyone, from factory workers to families buying groceries. Trump's new tariff is big news because it covers nearly everything the United States imports, not just a few items. The White House says the goal is to fight what they call unfair practices from other countries, especially China. Supporters say it could bring jobs back. Critics worry it will just make everyday things more expensive. People are now watching closely. Will the tariff stay at 10% or go up to 15% later? This uncertainty is creating lots of questions for businesses and American families alike. Recently, the Supreme Court made a big decision about tariffs. They ruled that President Trump could not use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to set tariffs as he wanted. This law was meant for special emergencies, not everyday trade fights. Because of this, the court said many of the earlier tariffs were illegal and had to be stopped. This ruling forced the White House to quickly change its plan. The administration dropped the new tariff rate from 15% down to 10%. They also had to find new ways to justify these taxes. Now government agencies and businesses are working to figure out what rules they need to follow next. The sudden legal switch caused confusion. Some companies had already paid the higher tariffs while others were unsure if they still owed money. United States Customs and Border Protection even stopped collecting some tariffs, waiting for clear instructions. This uncertainty has made planning very hard for everyone involved. Market reactions were fast, stock prices jumped around, and the value of the dollar changed as investors tried to guess what would happen next. Many people wonder if the new 10% tariff will last, or if more legal changes are coming soon. For many businesses, the quick drop from a 15% tariff to 10% brought a sigh of relief. Companies that import goods, like clothing, electronics, and toys, were glad their costs would not rise as much as they feared. Some, like Morph Costumes, said the lower rate made a big difference in their bottom line, at least for now. But that relief is mixed with worry. Many business leaders are concerned the government could change the rate again soon. Without clear rules, it's hard to make long-term plans. Uncertainty makes it risky to sign contracts or order large shipments from overseas. Some companies are also upset about the way things were handled. They feel the sudden changes show a lack of preparation. A few are already going to court, hoping to get back money they paid under the old, now illegal tariffs. This adds even more stress and distracts from running their businesses. Overall, the business community is watching and waiting. They want to know if the tariffs will go up, down, or disappear. Until there is more certainty, many companies will stay cautious about hiring, investing, and growing. Tariffs don't just affect big companies, they change the way whole supply chains work. When a new tariff is added, the cost of imported parts and products goes up. Companies must decide whether to find new suppliers, move factories, or just pay more and raise their prices. These changes can take time. Some businesses are trying to shift away from China to other countries, like Vietnam or Mexico. Others have no choice but to keep buying from China and hope the tariffs won't go higher. Each change can lead to delays, shortages, or unexpected costs. For shoppers, this means prices might rise on everyday items. Electronics, clothes, and even some foods could get more expensive as stores pass on tariff costs to customers. A $500 laptop from China, for example, could cost $550 or more after tariffs. This squeeze is especially tough for families on a tight budget. Not all companies can or will raise prices right away. Some may try to absorb the costs for a while, but if tariffs stay or go higher, most will eventually pass the increases on. This is why many experts warn that everyone, not just importers, will feel the impact of the new tariffs. Section 5. How the world is responding. Pushback and pause. So, let's dive into it. Other countries are not standing still. The European Union was quick to respond, pausing the approval of a new trade deal with the United States. They want more clarity and fairness before moving forward, you know. The UK and Japan have also raised concerns about the sudden changes and, well, the unpredictability of US policy. India has put its own trade talks with the United States on hold. Leaders there say they want to wait and see what happens. Meanwhile, China is thinking about how to respond. In the past, China has hit back with its own tariffs on American goods, like soybeans and cars. This pushback matters because it can slow down global trade. If countries start adding their own tariffs, the price of goods goes up everywhere. It also makes it harder for companies to plan where to build factories, sell products, or hire workers. For now, world leaders are watching closely. Many hope the United States will work with them to find fair solutions instead of raising barriers. But if the tariff fight grows, it could lead to more trade wars and less cooperation on big issues like climate change and technology. Economic uncertainty is rising because of these new tariffs and the legal battles around them. Stock markets react quickly to news, going up or down as investors guess what will happen next. When tariffs go up, many companies worry about lower sales and profits, which can make stock prices fall. For everyday Americans, this uncertainty can mean higher prices and fewer choices at stores. Businesses might delay hiring new workers or opening new locations until things become clearer. Families may notice that products they buy often, like phones or kitchen appliances, cost more than before. Experts also worry about the bigger picture. If trade slows down because of tariffs, the whole economy can suffer. Farmers, factory workers, and truck drivers all depend on steady trade. When goods become more expensive to move or sell, some jobs could be at risk. The uncertainty also affects plans for the future. Companies that want to invest in new equipment or technology may wait for clear rules. This can slow down growth and make it harder for America to compete globally. Because the Supreme Court called some of the old tariffs illegal, many companies now want their money back. Big firms like FedEx have already gone to court, asking for refunds on tariffs they say they should not have had to pay. The total amount could reach up to $175 billion. But getting this money back is not easy. Legal experts say the process could take months or even years. The government may fight hard before paying out such large refunds. In the meantime, businesses are left waiting, unsure if they will ever see those funds again. This legal mess adds another layer of confusion for companies. Some are setting aside money just in case the courts rule against them. Others worry about future tariffs, and how fast rules might change if the White House tries new legal tricks to bring tariffs back. For now, the question of refunds is one more thing for business owners to worry about. It shows how complicated trade policy can become, especially when laws and rules keep shifting. Even after the court setback, President Trump says he will keep pushing his tariff agenda. He has promised to try other legal tools to raise tariffs back up to 15%, especially on countries he believes are not trading fairly with the United States. No one knows exactly when, or if, these changes will happen. Congress could soon get involved in the debate, since some new tariffs can only last for 150 days without more approval. Lawmakers are divided, with some supporting strong trade action and others warning against more tariffs that could hurt the economy. Meanwhile, America's trading partners are preparing their own responses. Some may try to negotiate, while others might retaliate with tariffs on United States products. This back and forth could last for months, making it hard for anyone to know what will come next. For businesses and shoppers alike, keeping up with these changes will be important. Decisions made in Washington, D.C., and in courtrooms could change the prices and choices available to all Americans. Trade policy might sound far away, but it touches everyone's life. When tariffs go up, prices at the store often follow. Even people who don't buy imported goods can feel the effects, as businesses change their plans, slow hiring, or raise prices on American-made products too. Jobs can be at risk if companies struggle to afford new costs or lose overseas markets. Families may have to stretch their budgets as food, clothes, and electronics become more expensive. Even local farmers and factory workers can be affected if other countries answer back with their own tariffs. That's why it's important to pay attention to these trade battles. Decisions made by leaders, judges, and lawmakers can shape the economy for years to come. Everyone, shoppers, workers, business owners, has a stake in how the United States handles trade. As the story continues, watch for news about new tariffs, court rulings, and international talks. These changes may sound technical, but they shape the prices you pay, the jobs you find, and the choices you have every day.